Hey everyone, and welcome to Terminus Live once again. As always, I'm Corey Domino, and I've got my co-host here,
Michaela Davis.
and we've got our guest here.
I'm Thomas.
Oh, Thomas.
Just Thomas.
Just Thomas.
Do you want to introduce yourself and kind of talk about who you are, why you're here?
Sure. My name is Thomas Trinh, and I guess I'm within the entertainment industry in various facets, you could say. I work in the art department. Mm-hmm. I do something called set dressing, and I also make props. And then I've also been trying to get more into entertainment type of things.
Entertainment.
As an entertainer, I guess this time around. As an improviser and a puppeteer and a voiceover person. I guess acting is in there sometimes too.
Yeah, that's all under the umbrella of acting, I would say.
Yeah, I think that would all fit on my title card on my desk.
Yeah. Cool. So before we get any further, I want to go ahead and plug our sponsor, Thea.
Go Thea!
Every Wednesday. What?
I think the audio's not working.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
No.
It's working?
It's okay, he can mime. Right? It's one of your skills, right?
Yeah, object work.
Wait, what's object work?
Object work is within improv. Since we have no props or costumes or environments, we have to make it all ourselves. So it is essentially what you see when you see mimes doing pulling that rope or making that box.
So are we good, Ethel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let me plug Thea real quick. So our sponsor is Thea. You can find us every Wednesday after the show. Go to thea.network and see us there, thea.network. Go Thea. And also want to plug the Terminus Conference, which is June 15th through the 17th.
So soon.
So, yeah, it's like a month away. Get your tickets now. Go to terminusevent.com for more details.
Get them now.
All right. So, Thomas, we were talking about object work.
Yeah. Object work. Because improv is an odd art that you're making everything up as you go,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have the luxury of pre-planning your props and getting your costumes together and knowing what you're going to say. You don't have that luxury. So object work, like you can do it can be like you pretending to cut a carrot. It can also be interacting with a window, looking out of it. It can be really anything you want. You can be an object. You can become a tree if you want to. So like that's just a part of its art, just like mimes. Just because they don't have anything, they're mostly buskers. So like they'll pay a lot of attention to it, and they have to so much more because they don't talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, we're playing Rocket League today.
Rocket
You
League.
can't tell. Ethel, can we put the game up?
You guys can...
All right.
Ba-da-ba-da.
All right. So,
Alright, so...
got any questions?
Yeah, I do have some inquiries. In fact.
No, I will not make out with you.
Freudian
What about
listen?
with me?
Freudian listen?
That's a quote.
They have no idea what we're doing when we're
Talking
playing the
about
game.
chlorophyll. And all she's talking about is making out. Chlorophyll, more like
Like
borophyll. The endlessly quotable Billy Madison.
Yep.
Oh shit.
So if I'm talking, just know that they're doing other things with their mouths that are not talking.
Breathing.
Wait, what?
Breathing? What? How? So, sir, how did you
Whistling.
get your start in the industry?
Ooh, I'm a sir. So I moved here 5 years ago with only like a car and some money, and
That's all you need.
And the reason that I was able to get in here is is or not the reason, but like the reason for me to go was I inquired to prop houses, and two of them, I think I only remember like all about props. They responded to me saying, yeah, sure, there's stuff here, and I was like, cool, that's good enough for me. And then I up and moved here like a madman, and then I worked in a convenience store, and it was like, oh man, my life sucks. Ugh.
Which convenience store?
It's in Inman Park. It's one of those fancy ones. A lot of brown, a lot of green, alcohol. You know, yuppie place.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm not gonna name it just in case. I don't know.
Is it one of the ones that's not there anymore?
No, it's there.
Okay.
It's definitely there. I visit it sometimes.
That's not the one I was thinking of.
Okay. Because you know where I visit. But while I worked at a convenience store, the thing is you meet hundreds of people every day. And I talked...
How convenient.
I know, exactly.
I see what you did there.
I would just talk about like why I moved here and stuff like that to people. And I met a lady, and she's like, hey, that's cool that you want to do that and you have those skills. Go up the hill, like literally like 100 feet from the door of the convenience store, and ask for a guy named Brandon. I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then I went,
Brandon.
and then I met a guy named Brandon Ross, and I walked into this magical world where there are these giant puppets, and then there was all this fabrication
This
stuff.
sounds crazy.
It is crazy.
I need to know where this convenience store is.
This isn't the convenience store. The convenience store is not that crazy.
Yeah, that's not the crazy part.
No. Yeah, they got like sous vide and stuff. It's not that crazy. But yeah, so then I like from there this realizing that this industry is a lot of it is like showing up, giving your time, not being a piece of shit,
Yeah.
and then it's like, cool, hey, want to work with us?
Yeah.
And not saying it's easy, but it is just being a pleasure to work with and working hard.
Making friends. And making cool stuff with friends.
Yeah. So like that's how I got into it, and what was great about the people that I met, which was like Molly Coffee and Raymond Carr, they're all like creators. They're not just like we work in the film industry, but it's just a job. It's like no, they're content creators. They're artists. So like they're very much ready for to help people achieve whatever dreams that they want. And luckily with film, there's a lot of different facets to it. So you want to be a prop maker, you want to be a painter, you want to be an actor, like they can use you. And that's what's great about getting into the indie film culture is people will give you opportunities to the point where you're wearing like 6 hats on set, and it's like, what am I doing? Ugh.
All the things.
Yeah. You're allowed to do all the things, whether you're qualified for them or not. But with that, you get experience, and then you become qualified.
Yeah. That's pretty great. All good data. I'm trying to reach for
Input.
So, throughout this time, since you started, what is one of your favorite projects that you've worked on?
Favorite project.
Yeah, that can be like the project itself, the experience itself.
Let's
Interpret
see.
it as you will.
I've worked on like the first actual real gig I had it's a show on True TV called the Carbonaro Effect.
The carbonara?
The Carbonaro, I know, yes, not pasta, but it's called the Carbonaro Effect. It's on True TV, and it's a magic television show. It's a lot like Punk'd, except the main guy is a magician, and then he performs magic in real time in front of people that don't know he's a magician.
Oh, that's so cool.
So then it's just like people that are just like,
What a
what's
trickster.
going on? So hidden camera show. But I wasn't really on set. I was more so a prop maker. So I was just in the workshop making magic. And though there were tough times, it was very surreal at the same time, because I'm working in television. I'm making props like I had moved down here for. So it's like, have I achieved a dream? It's like, that's cool. So then I got to like really see what the industry was like, and how to attack the industry. as far as a lot of skills are nuanced to, or not skills. All media is they're nuanced in a way where, like, if you're a graphic designer, if you're doing graphic design for a sports versus a commercial product versus, like, it's all like slightly different. So like film and television, it's all slightly different. So like it's not like I was trained as a fine artist doing sculpture and painting, but in film it's a little different. It's like, as long as it looks good in that frame, then you're golden.
It doesn't have to last either. You don't have to make it archival. In fact, it's probably better if you don't.
Right. So like you have your sharpieing the frames of things, and then like you're just like taping stuff to the wall. It's like it'll be fine. It'll be fine for a little bit, and it is. So you can, but it's a different trait. It's a different skill set. It's not like less work. It's different work.
Getting away with what you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of that TV magic.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of real life. We get away with what we can. It's like, it's like the baby won't know that he's worn that shirt 2 days in a row. It'll be fine.
He won't tell anything. Okay,
Oops.
so this isn't a question on the card, and I don't know if you were allowed to, like, you might have signed a non-disclosure. But can you share one of the magic trick secrets, or one of the props you made?
Well, not the secrets.
Wow.
In which, actually, he does a lot of sleight of hand, and it's like, I didn't have anything to do with that. He's just a great magician. But there were some, like, a lot of times it was like, here, make this prop, make it again. This one's slightly different. It's like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Or like, no, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say these things on camera.
Did you make a fake dove?
I painted some.
Fake doves?
Yes. Yeah, I airbrushed some. So like it was like one of those, like, here we got this clearly fake thing, and then it becomes a real one.
Interesting.
In some way.
Illusion magic?
Yes.
TV magic?
Yes.
Okay, well...
Literal magic.
Literal magic.
So, just so that this doesn't become one of them, I'm going to move on to the next question. What is one of the hardest lessons that you've learned in the industry?
Hardest lessons.
I don't want the hardest lesson to be that you can't tell magic trick secrets on
That you
our
got blackballed.
show. And then you got in trouble.
Talking on a live podcast.
Yeah.
Tricked ya.
Well, at least we know that something important's watching.
No.
Oh.
Yes.
One of the hardest things I had to learn was how to live in the gig industry. For those of you that don't know what the gig industry is, it is being like an independent contractor where you don't necessarily have sound work all the time because projects and then new projects begin. And I didn't even understand that was a thing that people did. So like with that though is inconsistent work. And then sure there's dealing with it financially, but also there's a lot of other things to it. I talk about happiness a lot, and one of the big components of happiness is purpose. So when you're not working, you are missing out on money and purpose and friends, and then like you feel like you can feel like you're failing in all these parts of your life. And it is dealing with that.
Go, 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 go!
Ah!
As an option in life.
I feel like I'm failing right now.
So how do you combat that?
You combat that by constantly be doing things and not thinking about money, because in the gig economy, it's sure it's like who you know, but it doesn't necessarily mean like important people. It just means knowing people,
Right.
Knowing any people, because This was great. A voiceover guy at a panel once said, "Everybody you meet is an agent," and I was like, "Perfect."
Yeah, that's true.
That's, I mean, like,
Was that Bob Carter that said that?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was not.
Okay.
It was a guy from the voiceover Atlanta conference.
Oh, okay.
But like if I look back at my life and it's like, how did I get into the industry? And it's like, oh, I met this person and I was just talking and she was like, hey, go talk to this guy. And it's like, oh, she couldn't really give me a job, but she knew people that could. And living in a town that's flooded with a lot of people in the entertainment business, they're going to have friends everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're trying to necessarily like hobnob amongst the elite. It's like you're just talking about what you do, which is not uncommon when you just talk to people. People just ask, what do you do? And then you just tell them straight up.
Yeah,
I'm a voiceover person, or I work in the film industry, I'm a construction guy, and then you just say it. And then now they've registered your name with that ability. So like you're always advertising yourself whenever you meet another human. You know, whether any of it turns into anything, it's just good practice. So yeah, like, and yeah, just I'm constantly like moving from different jobs and things where like I will have to do the gig economy again and again because I got okay where I was getting offered core positions on films and such, but I didn't want to do it as much. I would rather try to do something else, like move into voiceover. So I had the opportunity to put forth more effort into the other things, but I guess I was not satisfied with what I was doing.
Hungry for more. So, okay, if you, as an improv guy, if you had to make a commercial for yourself,
Oh, jeez. What would I do?
do you have a jingle?
Oh,
A tagline?
jeez. To advertise myself. Well, the name of my company is essentially that. It's which took a long time to figure out. Like, what do you name your company? Well, and then I decided to go with Eclectic Mischief, and it's because I do so many things, and I like setting fires to buildings. You know, all those things. Yeah, it's
Yeah. I helped.
But I don't know. Like I think it would be like one of those fun, awkward, comedic commercials that people like to do, which like started like I don't know, like 10 years ago with like this weird, like this Wendy's ad where they're like kicking a tree, and he's like, "Why am I kicking this tree? I could be having a hot double bacon cheeseburger from Wendy's," and it was like, what? They're all wearing Wendy's wigs, and it's like, cool. I like that because it's stupid.
I feel like Geico really popularized that.
Yeah. Geico's really into that. But I'm like when it comes to improv, the type of improv I like to do is grounded absurdity. So it's not completely crazy, but like it's like a slight on life.
Like a comedian?
Comedians actually, they mostly talk about like real life, like straight up real life. Not that real life isn't absurd, but it would be like I don't know what's absurd. Like I had an improv scene once where I was saving baby turtles on the beach, and I was emotional about that. But like the whole time, like the moon was crashing into the world, and I was like, sure, why not? That's stupid. Like this guy cares about baby turtles, but there's obviously something more pressing going on. Or like you having a rat family, or just like things that aren't like they're definitely not deemed fantasy.
How did you know I had a rat family?
I could tell by the way that your nose moves. It's real cute.
Can they see it?
Oh yeah.
Let's play something
Okay,
else.
I think I kind of know what
Are
you
you
mean.
getting tired of?
I've like
Rocket
touched the
League?
ball like twice. and
Really?
It's like I don't know what's going on.
Okay,
here,
let's pick a new one. Pick a new
let's
adventure.
do-
Okay, while we're choosing, I'll ask you another question. Okay, so
Wanna
you
try one
prefer
of these, Tim?
fantasy?
Oh.
Oh yeah, I guess you have to choose a game first. Do you see one that you'd like?
Well, it's
Shovel Knight.
All right.
Okay, so we were talking over dinner, and we were talking about the game improv and it, like whether or not it takes, like if it takes a lot of energy compared to other things. So
Yeah. The way that I compare it is,
Should do this.
improv. It's like anything that you're exerting emotion, your emotional energy. It's going to be tiring, and which performances are emotional, just because it's good for the performance. So like naturally, it's tiring. Would you like to swap the button? I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Oh, you picked different colors probably.
What am I
right?
doing?
Hit the A button again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just like sports are tiring, they just inherently are. But if the times that you will get more tired is, there's a few, like if you put forth a ton of energy, and you go in hard like on your scene,
Like
but-
crying.
yeah, but like if it's like a 25-minute show and you try to sustain that energy through the whole thing, you'll be way more tired. So like it's just like if you tried to like dunk an alley-oop every single shot in a game, it's like that's a lot of work. Like,
So you'd be emotionally exhausted?
like you could be emotionally exhausted. If you're very physical players, you'll be physically exhausted. So those are ways that you can tire yourself out from like maybe like improper technique, as far as like the rise of a scene or of a set, because like a lot of sets are like they are slow, a lot of exposition, a lot of like set in the world, and then like they ramp and they go crazy, they heighten and then they crescendo, and then and then like they end big. But if you start off big and then it's just crazy, it's just like you're crazy, and then you lose all this energy, and then you're like and then you're tired for the rest of the set. And then from there, it becomes that much harder because you're trying to sustain energy, but you're also like you maybe run out of ideas too because you're all tired.
Do you ever conserve energy for like the climactic part of the set?
Yeah, like that's just kind of how you'll improvise a set a lot of times is you'll start off like lighter, and then which is just, it is conserving, but it's not like you're taking away from the show by like saving energy because you're afraid to run out. It's just like being responsible, I guess. And then like the other way that I would say like really that will really exhaust you is what did I say before? Exhausting.
You were talking about like an artist in a canvas.
Oh, right. If you find yourself not in flow state, in which the flow state is when you're just like making moves and you're not thinking about it, and you're just kind of going. So like an artist, it is much more taxing to just sit and try to think of ideas and try to put paint on the canvas, or like to thinking about the first move, It's much harder to do that than when you get into flow state. It's kind of like when you go to a party and you're trying to small talk with somebody. It's a lot more energy than talking to your best friend. Talking to your best friend is easy. You can do that for 100 hours and not be tired. But like maybe talking to this random person at a party and they're not doing that great at talking, or you're not doing that great at talking, it's just a lot of mental energy. So like on stage, if you're stuck what they call inside your head, where you're just trying to think of the right move and you're not reacting and you're not in the moment, you'll be using all that energy like trying to fabricate something, and it's just not gonna work out very well.
Psyching yourself out?
Yeah, essentially. And pretty much all arts, sports have those kind of things. Like the concept of the 11th man is the guy inside your head.
Oh shit.
Bubble Dragon! The 11th man. Who's the other 10 guys?
The other people on your team, I guess?
Yeah, or 12th man. I'm sorry, not 11th. I don't play football.
Is that
yeah. So there's 11 people on each side of the field, and then the 12th man is when you kind of get into the opponent's head, or they get inside their own head, and then they're fighting against themselves.
Interesting.
Essentially.
Man versus self.
Yeah. So the worst like you're your own worst critic, and then you start to think about your who you are as a person, and whether you're enough, and then you start to blame other people, and then all of a sudden it's just no good.
Triggered.
It's interesting. You can you always think about like the things that the choices you didn't make, and anyone watching will have no idea what those choices are. All they see is what's on the page or what's on the stage.
Right.
Page of the stage.
Yes. So wait, that was the energy question.
That was awesome. That was a great answer. Let's see. Okay, so what would you tell your younger self if you could? Now that you've lived
Take
this
risks.
long time.
Take risks. There's getting a no isn't as bad as never knowing. Closure is much more important than the immediate or like
There's a lump up there.
the immediate or the numb feeling of never getting a no. Because not getting a no, sure, it's okay, but like a life unlived is strictly worse, and you're not learning anything. You're learning absolutely nothing from not taking chances. And like the chances aren't like necessarily like huge. It's not like necessarily moving away. It's like applying for a job. Like I remember in high school, I never really went for scholarships except for ones that I knew that everybody got, because I assumed I wouldn't get it. And just like not necessarily even having confidence in your skills, but like just putting any foot forward is helpful. You'll learn so much more, even through failure.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that I don't think that America teaches enough, is the ability to fail and knowing that it's a good thing. We're all about winning, doing
sick
well.
of all the winning.
It's like whatever. Like how about we fail a few times and then then from that we learn.
Can you think of any time that you failed and like what the lesson was from that?
Well,
You don't have to do anything too embarrassing.
If you've
but
ever failed, that is.
yeah, I've never actually failed. Well, like actually going through college, I didn't put myself into a place where I could fail, which isn't like necessarily. It's not a good thing.
Sterile.
Right, and it's like I ended up with a good GPA, but what does that actually mean? That means that I didn't take any risks. At least that's what that means to me. I like finding out like who are the adjunct professors and who doesn't give a shit about giving bad grades. It's like cool.
yeah, especially in the arts, GPA really doesn't mean anything.
Right. And in the film industry, it's like I know people who are way ahead of me who never like went to college, didn't do high school, and but like they knew how to take risks, eventually at least, and that seemed to be the most important thing. Like a willingness to learn, and be wrong is so much better than being afraid to fail. I came from like going for art. Like I even went for art because I knew it was safer. Like I went to college for art because I knew it was safer. I mean, sure, I liked it, but part of why you like something sometimes is you're good at it. And I was good at it since like kindergarten.
Yeah. I guess nobody's gonna come to an art gallery to look at my art diploma.
Right.
I hope not.
That might be a good art show.
That would be so cool if you did that, and like, except like you destroyed it in like a really cool like kind of way.
It's like a Burning Man kind of thing.
Yeah, like so cool.
Take this, Scad.
It would be so cool because people would be like, "Oh my God, why would you do that?"
Well, I am pretty cool, so maybe that'll be it. I'll invite some other artists that have the same feelings about their alma mater.
Yeah. Luckily, I used my art degree to get where I was, so it's like cool. All right, I don't feel so bad. But I didn't necessarily need it. Like I didn't really need the paper to get there.
Yeah, most people don't ask to see your diploma.
Right.
They just take it on your word that you graduated from that place.
Right. And from what I learned from college, like there aren't a ton of jobs that they tell you have anyway, or that you that sounds like you need a diploma anyway. Like just being an artist, not really. Being a teacher, sure. Being like a museum curator, it's like cool. Like they've only told me 3 jobs that exist.
Art teacher.
Yeah. But like to be a working artist of sorts, it's like people just have to believe in what you do. So like I'm not like the
Go the ladder to the left.
Oh, yeah. So like the education that you get from it is great. The piece of paper doesn't really matter. So, well, at least that's how I see it. I don't want to tell people to not go.
You don't need school
It's what you
kids.
do it's what you do to get the paper that matters, and your portfolio
Right.
afterwards.
That's a much better way to say it.
So, if you hadn't taken the easy way, and you had done any major, or actually, even if you didn't do a major, if you could do any other profession, what do you think you would do?
Man, I'm pretty excited about what I'm doing right now, but like, I think like everybody and their mom wanted to be a marine biologist at some point, and that sounded real cool. But I don't even know if it's like, I think it's just like conceptually, it's like sweet, whales are dope, and it's like,
'Cause they are.
yeah, it's like they're real cool, and that's what I wanted to be, like. But then I realized like, oh, there's a lot of science, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, plus you'd probably end up studying something like plankton or barnacles.
Yes, and I hear that the chum bucket food is terrible.
Get him, 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 get him. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So, speaking of teachers, what teachers or films or directors have influenced you the most?
Let's see. As far as like visual art goes, I actually do really like Picasso. It's he attacked the world differently. Like sure he could have done what everybody else wanted to do, like or like what everybody thought was like beautiful art, but he did something different. Like the whole idea of like showing all the sides on like a 2D drawing, or like in a painting, but like showing all 3 sides as if it was a 3D thing. It's like cubism. It's like cool. That's a thing that you tried. So like I respect him for like going for the like what's different, but then again that's like pretty much any artist of prominence. They're always pushing boundaries about like what is art, this. So I think that like as far as that art is concerned, yes.
What is art?
Expression. Art is expression. At least that's what I think. And that can be whatever. Like, because there's there's a lot of different types of art, but like I think a lot of it has to do with like a point of view of things. Sure, like there's visual art where like there's not necessarily a point of view where it's like more emotional and brooding or whatever. But yeah, I think it's like encapsulating a feeling, and how people in like a perception of the world. Because there's a lot of different types of art too, and just like seeing the commonality in all of them, like be it visual art or writing or performance. It's like a lot of times it is like your interpretation of how you see the world.
Interesting. So, for your own art, what really inspires you to express, to create?
What inspires me to create? So for me, it is resonating with the people that feel unheard, right? So I remember when I had an improv show and I made somebody cry, not like laughter cry, but like I played a character that was very emotional, and then just like knowing that is a thing that you can do, and then like all of a sudden somebody feels heard and somebody feels like their feelings are valid, because that's a thing that I didn't necessarily feel growing up. I was like one of a few Asian kids growing up in Indiana, and so like feeling like alone was very easy, and also like I don't speak my parents' language, where like I don't it's hard for me to connect with them, and then it's also hard to connect to Americans.
The no man's land in between.
Yeah. So, it's hard for me to connect with people, and if I can be that for another person, is amazing. So even if my art is for what I believe, it's actually for the people that need to be heard too. So like if there's other people like that's why Black Panther was such a big deal. It's like it resonates with people who feel unheard, and then like watching that, I was like, oh man, I don't know how to feel right now, because I feel unheard in various ways, like as far as representation goes. So whenever I do like improv, I like finding moments that people can connect with.
Do you remember what the seed was exactly that the?
Oh yeah, it was a whole show. Whoops. It was so we were doing a forum called Therapist, and right away like there was somebody came out and they were just kind of narrating, and they were the therapist, and then we like whatever our get was, like we would create a character based on that, and then they would be in therapy, and like they'd talk, and then the therapist would say, all right, cool, for this week I want you to work on these things, and then like the rest of the show was between these three people, us working on those things. So people on the sidelines would put us into situations where we would have to work on things, and then I played a character that was very close to me, where he felt he wasn't being listened to, and he felt powerless, which is very much how I've kind of felt. Not that anybody's there actively taking my power away, but like it's like the societal pressures of this or that makes me feel like I can't succeed. Like and like that starts real early, like real quickly. People know who's more attractive than other people and who's better at basketball. People know.
Would you say that because you connected to that that role, that's why you were able to connect with the audience so successfully?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I think that for the most part, everybody has felt some sort of like bullying, whether it's at work or at school or whatever. Like people feel it, and people see it. And whether you've had like that oh my god, that experience or not, like it's happening to other people. Unless you're a total monster, like you can identify with it.
Yeah, it's a true fact.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about on the subject of like going through hard times and everything. I wanted to touch on the idea of like the loneliness of contracting.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was a pretty good subject that I feel like a lot of the audience could relate to.
Yeah.
Try using the D-pad.
Oh, right, that makes sense. Well, although I'm not good at patterns, so that's probably why I suck at this.
That's the hard part of our show. You gotta practice patterns and defeat the Dark Knight, the Black Knight, and answer really hard questions.
Yeah, talk about your loneliness.
I will destroy you. Yeah, like Batman. He's very lonely. I was getting to it. Yeah, like, so contracting, it's, especially if you do something that doesn't need other people, like writing, or for me, voiceover.
Like the Dark Knight, working alone.
Yeah, he does lots of voiceover. Oh, yeah. You'll be alone for a lot of times, and a lot of that time in the beginning, you'll be alone and not working and not making money and not being around people. So it's no good. As far as like making you feel like you're successful or like you have friends or so naturally you'll just feel a sense of loneliness because nobody wants your business. Nobody wants to hang out, but that's just people are working, so like nobody's going to be around. So like generally like they're lonely if you don't know how to deal with that. And the way that you deal with that, from what I can tell, whether I can do it or not, is keeping your hands busy doing things. And it doesn't even matter what it is, because like what I said earlier, like everybody you meet is an agent. So like even if you're just meeting with a friend, you're doing work, because like you're you're at least talking out your ideas. You're telling them what you're feeling. You're telling them about business, like that you're trying out. So like you're doing things, but being alone and feeling bad is not doing you any well. I think as long as you make like some sort of contact with another human, is like that's great. If you're persisting through your work, like updating your website or like sourcing different things, or just like if you're a prop maker, just making stuff, learning new skills, trying out any of that will combat that. Working with people on projects, because it's not about making money, it's about keeping busy, because we once we leave scholastics, we don't have that structure anymore. I mean, I'm talking from perspective of somebody who's 29. Like you kind of have to make your own structure.
Mm-hmm. So what specifically in your life did you, like, so what do you do, instead of, talking in, like, theoretics and generalisms, what do you do in your life to give yourself structure?
I try to set up meetings with people that could potentially help, like talking with somebody about maybe a business opportunity, or even like catching up. Like so having meetings with people is very important.
God, you're so close.
I know. The worst.
I used to say
So yeah, setting up those meetings with people, and just asking people like, oh, do you need help on something, and not thinking about it like in terms of money, and what they can get you. It's just like, cool, I just want to do a thing, and people will see that you like you're in it to help.
Cool. So I think we got the 45-minute mark, so let's do some fun questions.
Cool.
What would you name your boat if you had one?
A boat.
or spaceship.
Or, yeah, what would you name your spaceship? Or whale?
I'll name my whale.
Well, you said you want to be a marine biologist. Like, if you found a new species of whale and you got to give it, like, a name, what would you name it?
Ooh, new species. I think I would like a whale called Igor.
Ooh.
Like he's like a diminutive one, but not like porpoise size.
A tiny humpback?
Yeah, like a humpback the size of like a killer whale. Because killer whales aren't like huge compared to other whales.
So
Right.
cute.
Igor.
Yeah,
The Igor whale.
Yeah, Igor whale. Yeah, he's like the remora of whales. Or I guess remoras are the remoras of whales.
What is your favorite word?
Favorite word? I thought I had it the other day.
Is it biscuit? That's my favorite word. Risk it for the biscuit.
Risk it for the biscuit.
No favorite word.
I'm sorry.
You gotta
He should've
get
been
on
boss.
the. You have
Come
to.
on, you gotta do it.
This is the challenge.
Pick a word.
Any word.
It'll be your favorite word though, so watch out.
Boss.
Boss is your favorite word. Okay, what's your least favorite? What's your least favorite word?
Also boss.
No.
You lost.
I
You
know,
lost the interview.
I know I lost the interview. My least favorite word. Bulgy.
Bulgy.
Bulgy, gross.
Bulgy.
Wait, what's your favorite word?
Boss.
Boss.
It really is boss. Oh, okay, cool. I just thought you saw it up there in the corner and you were like,
No.
gold item.
I love lamb.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
What?
All this time.
What?
Oh my god.
Fuck it. Spiritually, emotionally,
Or creatively.
creatively.
You can answer Corey for all three if you need to.
It's me.
For as far as I improv creatively, like things that inspire me are it's like kind of like two things. Physicality, and like that can be touch, that can be object work, that can be environment. That it's a lot of things, but also, also stupid stuff. Stupid stuff that makes you laugh. Like inside jokes with your friends that don't really make sense to anybody else. They're just they're just real dumb. A lot of like the things that happen in The Office, like they're all like real stupid. It's like, but it's great. Like one of my friend's favorite things is like when Kevin brings chili to the office, and he just like trips and it just like falls all over.
That's my favorite one.
And he's trying to like put it back in the pot, and it's like,
Poor
oh my god,
Kevin.
Kevin, no, you idiot! But it's like so funny. It's like, why is he trying to put it back? It's this is the most absurd thing. Like nobody would do this. So it's real. Like I enjoy that a lot. Like finding like the stupidity in something is always fun. Ah.
Okay, last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I finally killed that Black Knight for you.
Hey, the Black Knight is here. What? He was a good guy the whole time. Was I the bad guy?
Is that what you want to say? Was I the bad guy?
Oh.
Because that's pretty deep.
Oh, that is pretty sweet.
Oh.
Because like everybody thinks that they're the good guy.
Yeah.
Although if I ended up at heaven, actually, do you think that they'd bring you to heaven first and then tell you, sorry you didn't make it? Like, I guess like total tease. Like, hey, we're going to Disneyland. Just kidding.
Yeah,
like,
and then they pull the lever and the trap door opens.
Yeah.
That would be the beginning of hell. If you really went to heaven and they made you wait in line at the pearly gates to see if your name was in the thing, like for a very long time.
Just leave me in purgatory. Damn.
And
You had a
then-
lot of eternity to fill. They probably have a bunch of schemes like that.
Maybe that is purgatory, the line waiting for the pearly gates.
Maybe.
I hijacked your question. Okay, what would you want to say?
You are enough.
Oh, man.
Aw, that's the deepest answer we've gotten yet.
That's something that's what I hear people say. Sometimes, like if you're around good people, they can improv. It's a very important improv lesson. Because people come in and like they're in their head a lot. They're thinking like, oh, I'm not funny enough. I don't know enough. It's like, no, what you know is fine. I've done plenty of scenes where we didn't have to know anything beyond how we felt about each other, and that's it. Like knowing that your experiences, how you feel is worth it, is very important. And whether your school, or your parents or your peers, haven't told you that, it's unfortunate. That's why we have so many people that aren't artists, because they learned in like second grade that they sucked at art from their teachers.
Yeah.
And so like we're not allowed to do things for fun. You have to be good at them, and that's a real travesty.
Yeah, Chloe, maybe we should keep that in mind from now on when we're hosting, because we kind of have to improv when we talk. So
Yeah.
we'll be like, our jokes are good.
Yeah, we're good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Good enough. We're smart enough. And doggone it, people like
Yeah,
us.
you'll be fine.
Doggone it.
You'll be fine. Sure, there's like things that maybe you're not destined to do, but there's no reason you should ever feel like you aren't worth it. Unless you're a horrible, horrible person. But that was probably from early on when somebody told them that they weren't worth it.
You are strong enough to kill this knight right now. I really want to see him die before we go out there.
I can't do patterns. I'm the worst.
No, you're good enough. Or you are enough.
Yes. Yes.
It's the power of positive thinking. Do you have any projects coming up that you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug before we say goodbye?
Plug it.
There is. I'm in an improv duo, and his name's Christian, and our group name is Big Time, and we do shows sometimes at Highwire, but we're doing a show at this June, at a show called Perfect Strangers at Highland Ballroom. And we're gonna be the opener for it.
Nice.
And like my duo improv is my favorite improv. Not that I don't love all my other improv, but it's the best.
Well, yeah, duo is good because it's easier to rehearse for one thing, because
Yeah.
it's only one other person you have to work out a schedule with.
Yes.
and then you're able to actually focus on, getting to know one person instead of like
Right.
4 or 5 other people.
Yeah. Having like 7 best friends that you trust is hard.
Yeah. All right.
I trust no one.
I do want to see you finish this boss, but
Wait, we can plug all the things while we're
No.
doing the boss,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
yeah. Keith,
Yeah.
you want to plug?
Yeah.
Said you want to wrap up the show today.
Yeah. I don't know why I have all these lives.
Well, it goes by your gold,
Oh.
so you really have unlimited lives.
Oh man, that makes me feel good.
The power of Thea will give you the strength you need to defeat him.
Haha.
So that was my first part of the Thea plug. The second part of the Thea plug is letting you guys know that we are super excited to partner with Thea, the new video network and creative community. I didn't actually, the last time I was plugging this, realize that it's a creative community. So if anybody else is out there and is a creative and needs a community to help build you up, you should go check out the Thea Video Network and see what they have to offer. You can now find Terminus live at thea.network every Wednesday after the live stream. And then you can go and continue to enjoy our jokes over and over and over. So yeah, that's our Thea plug. Second plug is our Terminus dates. On June 15th to 17th, we have a big event. There's going to be a lot of people in the industry sharing their knowledge. There will be the alcohols and the snacks, so you should come out and hang out with us. Badges are currently on sale.
Yeah! Badges are currently on sale.
Yeah, the badges! Book your hotel room by May 23rd for the special rates. You have unlocked the special rate. Visit terminusevent.com for details. And that's the end of our show.
Oh man, that's the best way to.
So peaceful.
Yes.
Such bliss.
Did we actually get that on the stream? Yes.
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 I beat the game.